All right, so in this meeting, we're going to cover how to log into iReady, the diagnostic tests, which I heard the kindergarten and first graders have not yet done, but will be doing starting in January, the lessons, the time that should be spent on iReady, some tips, and places where you can find some more information about iReady. To log into iReady, you should have already gotten this information from the classroom teachers. The first step is to go to the website login.iready.com or to the iReady app on your iPad. When you're going to log in, you want to click on the K&1 card, which is the blue button right here, because the login for kindergarten and first grade is a little bit different than for all the other grades. Once you click on the K1 card, you will be prompted to enter the class number. The class number should have been given to you by the classroom teacher. And once the classroom number is entered, then the child will be able to find their name. And after a few times, they will learn what their picture is and they will be able to find their name easily. Notice that there may be several pages of pictures that you can switch on right here. After they enter their name, they can then enter their picture code. Picture code is made up of 3 pictures and it's different for each child. It might be something like a heart, smiley face, teardrop, or it could be exclamation mark, plus sign, star. So they will put in their code that is also given by their teacher. And then they will be taken to the screen where they can select either reading or math. So the diagnostic test is something that is done usually 3 times a year, and it helps the teacher to understand a few things. What your child already knows, it measures their current knowledge, which is why it is so important that the children do these on their own, that they are not helped by their parents while they're doing a diagnostic test, so that the teacher can see what the child knows. What your child still needs to learn, because iReady specifically designs instructions for each child individually. No 2 children have the exact same path because no 2 children have exactly the same needs. So it's important that the child does this on their own so that the program can realize what it needs to teach the child. And also how to best use learning time. When a teacher sees the class results and she sees the majority of a class has similar deficiencies, they can gear the lessons towards those children, towards those things that majority of the class may need. iReady is adaptive. This means the questions change based on your child answers to earlier questions. So if their child is finding questions very hard, they need to honestly answer them so that the program realizes it, that they're too hard for the child. This is true in both the diagnostic test and in the lessons. When the program realizes that content is too hard, it will adapt itself and show the child things that precede this so that the child can learn what came before this in order to better understand. Some questions will be easy, and some questions will be too hard. They will see questions they won't know how to answer, and that's okay. What you have to stress to them is that they should try their best, and if they don't know the answer, it's okay. They have to try and make their best guess, the best that they can do. Of course, there will also be questions that are just right, and that will help the teacher see what level the child is on. Once you log in, you see the reading and the math options, and that's where you would go to see the lessons. For reading, you click on the book. For math, you click on the signs, on the math signs. When you're using iReady at home, once your child is logged in, the lessons that are going to be there will be on the just right level for your child. They are specifically designed based on the diagnostic, based on the previous lessons that the child has already completed, to teach your child exactly what they need to know. They use fun characters, they use games, they use songs in them to make this very engaging for children. You can also see that your child's progress right up here, depending on whether you're in the app or when you're on the website, my progress button might be down below underneath your lessons. So you will be able to see the progress. And in a couple of slides here, in this slide, I have a video for you a little bit about what you will see when you check on your child's progress. Stop this just for a second. I'm going to turn off my video and then it will play smoother.
This is a video tutorial on how to use iReady as a parent. Using iReady, your child will complete a diagnostic assessment in both reading and math 3 to 4 times a year as a way of highlighting your child's academic strengths and challenges. Based on the challenges that the diagnostic test reveals, iReady will then prescribe your child with personalized lessons which can be completed each day from both school and home. Now, to access iReady in a web browser, you'll go to the address login.i-ready.com. Once you have arrived on the iReady site, your child will need to enter their username, password, and their state. If you do not have your child's username and password, your child's teacher can provide that to you. After you have entered the iReady site, your child will have the option to complete either reading or math. So for this tutorial, I'll select reading first. After selecting reading, in the green box at the top is your child's next lesson. Your child will simply select the green box, and at the bottom there'll be a forward green arrow, which your child will select. They'll hit go, and the lesson will load and begin automatically. As a parent, it's important to monitor your child's progress in iReady each day. So to do that, I'm going to select the My Progress tab at the bottom. When I select the My Progress tab, you're going to see a couple things. The first thing you want to look for is the amount of time that your child has spent in iReady for the week. The goal for your child is 45 minutes a week. So as a general rule of thumb, that's about 15 minutes 3 days a week or 10 minutes 5 days a week. Next, you can select the Completed Work tab here, which is going to show you a couple other things. The Completed Work tab is going to show you the lessons that your child has completed, the date they completed those lessons, along with their score. As a parent, if you have any other additional questions about iReady and how your child should be using the program or how you can monitor their progress further, just contact your child's school and they will be able to provide you with that assistance.
All right. So in this, it showed you that when you check on your child's progress, you will be able to see how much time they spent doing iReady. And that's the next important part that I'm going to talk about. They're expected to spend 45 minutes on reading per week and 45 minutes on math per week, but it doesn't have to be completed all at once. They do not have to sit down and do 45 minutes of reading all at once. In fact, it is not recommended that they do it all at once. It is better if it's broken up into smaller sections so that they're better able to pay attention while they're completing it. So a sample schedule might be something like do 20 minutes of reading on Monday, 20 minutes of reading of math on Tuesday, 25 minutes of reading on Wednesday, 25 minutes of math on Thursday, and then catch up on any time that they might not have been able to get. Maybe on Wednesday, they were done after 15 minutes and you could see that they were no longer paying attention. You stop. They can finish it another time. It does not have to be done all at once, all in one chunk. It is better that they spend that time on task. And that's a really interesting thing also that My Progress tracks is it specifically shows the time that they're engaged in the lesson, that they're interacting with the lesson. If they're just sitting there and they're doing something else, they're playing and their screen is on, or they've switched to another tab on their browser and they're playing a game, which I know some of the older children sometimes do, it does not count that time. It only counts the time that the children spend on task on iReady lessons. Make sure that your child always completes all the work on their own. The program decides on what to teach the child next based on what they show they already know and based on what they show they don't know yet. So it's really important that they do every lesson on their own, not just the diagnostic tests. Let your child know that it's okay not to know all the answers as long as they try their best. It's okay to get things wrong. When the program sees they're getting things wrong, it will teach it to them later. Try your best not to help your child answer questions. It might also be a good idea to designate a specific part in a daily routine for iReady. For example, if you know that there are certain times in the day when your child doesn't have a meeting with their teacher, when they don't have asynchronous work assigned, that could be a good time in the day to designate for iReady. So maybe if your child is an early riser, you can say 8 o'clock every morning, they're going to sign into iReady for 15 minutes. Or maybe later in the afternoon, if they do better in the afternoon, they would say at 2 o'clock every day, they're going to sign into iReady. So making it a part of the routine, just as they have the meetings as part of their routine, could be helpful in getting the required number of minutes in each week. You can also find more information about iReady at the iReady website. These two links, the Family Center and the tour, have videos and explanations of how iReady works, how the diagnostics work, how the lessons work. There are videos, there's information to be read. So these are really good places to visit if you would like to learn some more information. They're right on the iReady website, and one of them is in the Family Center section, and the other one is in the tour section. And that's all for the presentation. If you have any questions, now would be a great time to ask them.
Yes, hi. How I know my son or my daughter